Hey guys, Rob here with McDojoLife. In today's McDojo news, we're going to talk about how MMA fighter Sinead Kavanagh has been arrested for the second time in less than 6 weeks for assaulting her partner. Let's check out the story. MMA fighter Sinead Kavanagh has been released without charge by Grand Canaria judge after 2 nights in police custody. The 39-year-old mom of one was held on Saturday night in the island tourist resort of Maspalomas for allegedly assaulting a woman described locally as her partner. It's the second time she's been arrested in Gran Canaria in less than 6 weeks, following her earlier brush with the law on November 24th, when she was filmed tussling with 2 police officers on a Dublin-bound Ryanair plane to Gran Canaria's airport. Kavanagh, a 5-time national Irish boxing champion who left the sport in 2014 and went on to become one of the world's best mixed martial arts fighters and friend of UFC star Conor McGregor, is still being investigated on suspicion of resisting arrest and wounding over that incident. But the judge she went before this morning set her free after the woman she was alleged to have assaulted failed to show in court. After Kavanagh's court appearance, which took place behind closed doors, as is normal in Spain where only trials are held in public, a local official said, quote, she went before a duty court judge and was allowed to walk free because the person allegedly assaulted did not appear to ratify her complaint, and therefore there is no accusation. Earlier in the day, National Police in Gran Canaria said they had arrested a 39-year-old on suspicion of domestic assault, and well-placed police sources confirmed the detainee was Dublin-born Kavanagh. One said earlier this morning, quote, she was arrested around 9 p.m. on Saturday in Maspalomas for alleged domestic violence for allegedly assaulting her partner. She'll go to court today after spending 2 nights in police custody. Her partner was taken to health center for an evaluation of injuries suffered. It's not clear exactly in Maspalomas where she was held and whether Kavanagh, who was, according to unconfirmed local reports, subdued by 8 police officers, will remain in Gran Canaria or fly home. Her November arrest came after the pilot of a Ryanair plane, due to leave Gran Canaria, called police when the aircraft was on the runway waiting to take off. The civil guard at the time in comments, which were then seconded by the airline, quote, the pilot requested police presence because of 2 passengers who were causing problems on board a plane that was bound to take off. Officers going to identify them and take them off the plane because the pilot had decided they weren't going to fly. One of those passengers resisted and got into a tussle with officers and ended up being arrested. The Unified Association of Civil Guards, a police union with more than 30,000 affiliated members nationwide, published a video of the plane tussle on its official X account and claimed Kavanagh was the woman arrested by posting footage of her fighting in the hexagon alongside it in a separate video. It said in a message alongside the post, quote, 2 civil guards injured after containing a professional MMA fighter. Complaining about lack of resources civil guards had to work with, the AUGC continued, quote, no taser in the airport, no vehicle with participation between the front and back, the aggressor free, and officers off work. They say ours is not a high-risk profession. We're the only defense for citizens, and we're up against professionals who fight with their bare hands and without resources. Kavanagh was previously released after reportedly declining to answer questions from the investigating judge. She was then allowed to travel home with Ryanair. Court officials confirmed afterwards that she was facing a continuing criminal probe to determine whether formal charges would be laid. Kavanagh revealed recently how she went off mopping the gym floor to becoming a top MMA star in just over a decade. She first took up the sport after tiring of boxing, where she competed with likes of Katie Taylor, Natasha Jones, Savannah Marshall. She has admitted to being homeless before her luck turned. Sinead challenged Chris Cyborg for the Bellator featherweight world title in 2021, but suffered defeat. She was ranked 10 at women's featherweight according to Fight Matrix from April 2021 to July 2021 and March 2022. Kavanagh, who presents herself on Instagram with her 29,000 followers with the words, quote, fighting is in my blood, true dub, and an Irish tricolor emoji, has yet to make any comment on her social media about her arrest. Let's unpack that. The article I just read was from the Irish Sun, and whoever wrote that article needs to go back to school to learn how to put together a proper sentence. That was a nightmare to read. But anyway, I digress. Sinead Kavanagh, this is the second time in a very short period of time that she's been arrested for violence. If you missed the story I had done about her before, here's the video of her getting into the fight on the plane that was mentioned in that article.
Don't do it!
I'm fine, just get out, what's going on?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
That was pretty bad, and it seems that the person who was screaming in that video for her to stop was probably her partner and has now been assaulted by her. Now, we really don't know her partner's reasoning for not wanting to show up in court, but because of that, there's a good chance she might just get away with being violent for a second time, but she's still under investigation for attacking those people on the plane. Now, where I come from, this is what we call a spiral. Things just are continuing to get worse, and she keeps putting herself in worse positions and worse positions. Who knows her reasoning why she continues to do this? Could be depression, could be she has anger issues, could be a million and one things. But this brings us to the question of the day. The question of the day is brought to you by Academy Safe. Academy Safe is out there trying to get martial arts studios to do the things that they're not required to do, like background checks, CPR, first aid, all that good stuff. You don't need anything to start a martial arts studio in the United States. Academy Safe is letting you know which martial arts studios are going above and beyond to do the things even though they're not required to do them. If you're starting or going to a martial arts facility, make sure it's Academy Safe. Let's be a little introspective with the question of the day today. Clearly, Sinead Kavanagh is not doing very well. There's something going on. We don't know what that might be. Hopefully it gets better for her, whatever that is. Hopefully she stops being violent towards people, especially people who were close to her. But haven't we all done something that damaged us personally, we knew was not going to be bad for us, but we did anyway? So my question to you is, if you're willing to share this, what's the most self-damaging thing you've ever done knowing that it was going to be bad for you? I look forward to reading your comments in the comment sections below, so that way I know that you watched the entire video, but also so we can have a good open dialogue. As always, thank you all for the likes, comments, shares, subscriptions, and memberships. Keep the martial arts legit.